If getting down on the floor isn't an option for you right now, then this simple chair-based yoga practice will bring in the depth of joint articulation, spine awareness, and the skillful use of gravity. This practice has been requested by you and is for anyone experiencing pain sensitivity, low mobility, or rebuilding a sense of confidence in their body. So if you'd like to join me, find yourself a comfortable seat and we will begin. Before we move on to shoulder and hip articulation practices, we're going to start with an awareness of our posture and our spine. I'm going to sit this direction so you can see my spine. So start with your feet at a comfortable distance in relation to the chair, rather than sitting back in the middle or towards the back of the chair, which kind of creates a little bit of collapse through the lower spine. See if you can safely sit on the edge of the chair. And this is going to allow us to bring a little bit more movement through the hips. Start by resting the weight of your torso forward. By that, I just mean that you're not leaning back where the hips are going to start to pull. Instead, we rest the weight forward. Start by bringing some width through the toes. So where the toes meet the foot, you want to feel like you have a nice wide base before we begin. So a note on posture. You might find that you have a postural habit of collapse through the lower spine. This is my former postural habit. If that's the case, take your hands, place them on your lower belly, and gently rest the lower belly back until you start to feel there could be more length through the lumbar spine here. So when you rest forward, we're not collapsing in the spine. You rest the lower belly back so that the lower spine is nice and long. Similar with the shoulders, you might have a postural habit where the shoulders are rolled forward. So just very gently, working within your own range of movement, see if you can roll the shoulders back. Now bring the awareness to the head and the neck. Perhaps your postural habit is that your head is rested forward. If that's the case, see if you can gently rest your head back so that it sits on top of the spine. Drop the chin down into the space between the collarbones. And now we have no distortions through the spine. We have the weight of the head and the shoulders moving down the spine, through the legs and into the feet. That's a really great place from which to start our practice. So take a moment just to feel how that is for your body today. Can you feel the weight of the head and the shoulders resting down? Can you feel that your spine is a nice clear channel? At this point, it can be helpful just to create a little bit more space through the vertebra of the spine. Feel as though as you rest the lower belly backwards, you could also gently climb up the ladder of the spine. It's increasing adding a little bit more space in between the vertebrae. In this way, we're gently lifting the weight out of the hips, and that's going to support the rotations that we bring in shortly. So whatever that is for you, gently lift the weight away from the hips. And remember that the spine travels all the way up to the point behind the nose. So you have a beautiful length that comes through all the way up from the tailbone, right up to the tip of the spine. And now we've spoken about posture, let's begin to bring in the articulation of the joints. And we're going to start with the shoulders and the arms. So begin with a soft bend in the elbow and gently roll through the arm in this way. Right arm, and then left arm. Ensure that the breath is fluid. Try not to hold the breath. And again, work within your own comfortable range. The weight of the body is rested forward. And we don't lose the awareness of the spine. So rather than practicing like this, where we're creating compression and extension in the spine, we want to instead isolate the movement to just the shoulder here and how the momentum of the movement then carries through to the wrist. So see if you can keep the spine in alignment as you roll backwards and forwards through the shoulder. And again, once you take that gross movement out, you might find that you actually have less range, but that's okay. Just work slowly and gently at your own pace. You can bring in little movements of the head from side to side to ensure that to ensure there's no tension building up in the neck. So you can also practice that with your hands on your legs. This would be preparation for down dog as you gently roll through the arms. And get curious about where the tension in the shoulders lies. And this gentle articulation is the perfect way to begin to unwind some of that tension. Now we'll bring our awareness down into the hips. We'll start with our right leg forward here. And again, rather than having the weight back, see if you can rest it forward. And begin to articulate through the hip joint. And see how I'm rolling on my heel here. Soft bend in the knee. And again, you might only have this smaller range of movement, and that's fine. Work within your own limits, softly, gently, with the breath, with gravity, to begin to unwind any tension. And you might want to just stay and do this simple movement from side to side. If you feel like you want to bring in the torso, you can gently rest the weight of the body in different positions as you move the leg. It allows you to enter into different parts of the hip. There's really no wrong way to do it as long as the joints stay soft and that you're not pushing through pain. Now let's try the left leg, heel, Soft bend in the knee. Roll backwards and forwards as you articulate through the hip. Please make sure that the knee isn't locked. Soft bend. And you can try both legs together if that feels comfortable for you. So really get curious again about where the tension is. Get curious about the difference between each of the sides. The more information you have, the more helpful it can be. The more you can tailor your practice to address those specific issues as to where the tension lies. And know that if you have a lot of tension through the thighs, these gentle movements are going to begin to unravel that tension if done regularly. So to finish, place your feet back down on the ground. Again, feel like the weight of the head and the shoulders could drop through the spine into the feet. Soften through the body and then gently lift up through the spine. So these are very simple somatic exercises that you can use if you're working at your desk, or if you're driving, or if you have a more sedentary lifestyle where you find yourself sitting but still want to build an intelligent, curious and supportive relationship with your body.